Well,
Oh my
hello.
goodness. You're an angel.
I
Me
am.
too.
I know.
That's adorable. Are you actually going to go any? Is that like what you're wearing out this Halloween?
Probably not. I have no idea.
Well, it's
This
cute.
is
You
just what
should.
we had on hand.
It's
Thank
good.
you.
This is also what I
And
had on hand.
you look adorable as well.
Thank you.
Super hot, Lady Deadpool.
Yeah, yeah. I wore this for our Halloween party the other night and it was really fun. Granted, I kept it zipped up. This was only for the after party. But then I was like, end
You
podcast.
don't have to make excuses here.
Say what,
We're
baby?
like that.
Or
I
I
said
mean,
you don't.
I didn't mean to call you baby. Anthony's right here. Say what, Emily?
You can call me baby anytime.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, I was just saying you don't have to make excuses here. You could wear it that way all the time, and it would be a-okay.
Yes, I know. I do know. And it's excellent. Okay. So,
Indeed.
happy
Indeed.
Halloween. This is our
Happy
Halloween
Halloween.
podcast
Yep. And you
because,
look fantastic.
because I
I
love
love it.
Halloween. I
I
really
do too.
do. Like it's
Hmm.
uh it's one of my favorite things because everybody else does the thing that I like to do anyways. Like
Dress
I
up, eat candy,
exactly.
party.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I like
So,
it too.
yeah, yeah.
Who
And
doesn't
so
like
many
to be a
people are
kid?
so like afraid of it, afraid of like liking it or even saying they enjoy it because they associate it with some like evil thing. And I'm like, that's a you problem, man. Like that doesn't,
Right?
that's something that your mind is, well, not your mind was
Making up on
fabricating. The
its own.
world told you what, but you're just believing it a little too hard. Like, this is really fun.
Hmm.
Dress up and play with us.
My favorite is the girl on TikTok who she's dressed up with her little daughter and she goes, "We don't celebrate Halloween, so we're just dressing up and eating some candy." And I'm like, "That's
That's
all of it.
celebrating Halloween.
That's all of it."
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like,
Like I really, oh,
you're
this is a message that is going out to I don't know, Christians or anybody who is hearing about the religion called like satanic or Satanism or whatever. They
okay.
don't even believe in Satan. It is just being the opposite of Christian. Like once you no longer are a Christian, you don't believe in any of those things. So they shouldn't have used the word satanic because then people are
Yeah.
just always, ah. But if you look up their principles, it is just take care of others, be kind. They're just trying to distance themselves from like Christianity, but by
Yeah.
using who Christianity sees as the bad guy, Christianity sees them as the bad guy. But they
But using
literally
pure
don't even
evil.
believe in they literally don't even believe in those like forces of evil that Christianity does. Like there's evil, but we see people as, needing to take personal accountability for that instead of brushing it off on some big guy up there who knows better and whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is supposed to
Yeah.
be a fun Halloween
Well,
one, but
well, I was talking to somebody this week, a little girl whose mom does not let her read Harry Potter because it's,
yeah.
you know, evil.
I know,
And
it's
I'm
so
like,
cute. It's just literally so cute and fun and
right?
imaginative. Yes.
But then I started thinking about it and I'm like, wait, she lets you watch like Barbie movies, right? And she's like, oh yeah, all the time. And I'm like, they contain magic too. Like just as much as Harry Potter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what?
that's not real
What is
either.
the
You're
difference?
just afraid of
Just
that because
because you
you
call it a witch
associate
and a
it.
wizard and
You want to know? Okay, I just saw this thing that it, like, you always know it, but you know how sometimes people will put things away that just make you like, oh, I never thought of it that way. It was
you're
this
like, oh,
picture, and it was just like, there are no witches. There were never witches. The witches were always women. Like, even people right now
yep,
who like would claim like to be a witch or something, they are just women who maybe think differently or like want to express their spirituality differently than like the mainstream way, but
yeah,
like literally they don't even exist. Like it's just people.
it's just women,
It's just women
just
and they were
women.
just getting burned for having a few too many thoughts and different ideas.
Or for having other women jealous of them for some reason,
Oh,
or,
because they were
you
naturally
know,
pretty and their husband was like,
or
yeah,
they
yeah,
made
yeah.
better pie,
We were
or like
also
there were
like,
so many stupid reasons.
well, they pit us
Like,
against each other like in a way, whereas we just need to be more like, I don't know, not so jealous of each other and able to help each other. It's just silly.
right?
We
It
be
is just
silly,
silly.
guys.
Indeed.
Did you have any like favorite Halloween memories or Halloween stories that you came across that you wanted to share?
I have, let's see, I have a lot of like the creepy, spooky stories.
Okay.
But as far as like Halloween for me, the things, what do I remember about Halloween? I remember just going through like our dress up box trying to figure out what to be that day. You know what I mean?
Okay. What do you remember about Halloween with me?
With you. Let's see here. What did we
You
dress
might
up
have to,
as?
the only hard part is that we did so many different dress up things that I'm
Which
like,
ones
I
were
don't know
for
which one was
Halloween and which
Halloween.
ones were not?
Yeah. I
Okay,
think
I
one of my
remember.
favorites was that one that you reminded me of not too long ago that I had kind of forgot about when we went to a dance
I
dressed
was just
up.
gonna say it probably involved a dance. So yes, yes, it did.
Anyways,
Um, okay. So there was one that we went to where we were construction workers and we had whistles. Do you remember? And
and we
like,
we blow the whistle and go, party time.
yep, dance time. And then
Yeah.
we just like wherever we were in the room, we had to come together and like dance.
Uh-huh. And it
Anyway,
didn't even have
that
to
was,
be a place where other people were dancing.
of course not. There were other people there. What?
I know. Sometimes people join in, sometimes people are cool.
Occasionally.
Sometimes they just look at you. You're like, it's fun though.
You know what though? Mormon dances were kind of weird. Like,
They
I don't
are
think
kind of
you'd have
weird.
the same kind of thing everywhere. Like, we just like to dance all the time,
Uh-huh.
all the time. And I was telling my kids one time, not one time, last week, about one time I was at one of these dances and I was dancing with this guy and like he was just a dude, didn't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he
Just some
wasn't
random
anything
guy.
special to you. It was just some guy asked you to
Yeah,
dance
yeah,
because that's
yeah.
normally how it was.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden he gets this like look on his face and starts pulling me closer. I'm like, nope. So I like scooted back a little bit.
Mhm.
And then he looks at me again and pulls me closer. And I start using my elbows in between us, like,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is not
yeah.
what I like. I don't know what vibes you're getting, dude, but no.
Yeah.
Anyways, it turns out my brother was standing behind him and going like this down his back. So we think it was me.
Oh my God. BJ, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Good one, BJ.
Thanked Beach. Thank you. What a turd. I'm like, what is this? I'm not giving off any vibes here. Like, we're just dancing. But apparently, my brother had other ideas,
Oh, that's really
so,
funny though. Okay.
right? There's my Halloween experiences.
All right.
But
So
no, we would just traverse the whole neighborhood and like my parents would let us out at like 6 and we'd come back at about like 8:30 or 9 and we'd just go everywhere knocking on doors,
that was pretty much
getting some
ours
candy.
too. And we would take like pillowcases. We wouldn't have fancy
Uh-huh.
little buckets. It was like pillowcase, and you were trying to fill that thing. I mean, you
Heck yeah.
didn't, but still, you got a
No, it
little
was
solid
always just a
mass.
little ball in the bottom and you're like, "Ugh,
Oh, I
yeah,
missed that. It was so
I
fun.
do too.
Do your kids
And
get
here
that?
so we've only taken them regular trick-or-treating like twice because everything here is so spread out and we haven't been close to town.
Yeah. So you do like trunk or
So
treats or something?
yeah, they'll usually do like a trunk or treat, but just in the last couple of years, we've been taking them to a little neighborhood and going trick or treating. And I think this year I'm going to set up like a little candy donation thing
Mm-hmm.
for the people who live in this little neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, it's not fair that everybody comes to their neighborhood and just like
Yeah, no, that seems fair.
takes
Like
all
you
the
want to be
candy.
able to utilize that environment for a safe
Bring a bag of
area for your
candy.
kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we do a Halloween party every year. Um,
nice.
and yeah, and so every Halloween we do a party here at the house and it's a potluck and we invite everybody. There's not tons of people that give out trick or treating in our neighborhood, but it's normally pretty clear to see who is. So we normally drive around because it's a pretty spread out neighborhood. But
Yeah,
we get here, like carve some pumpkins, whatever, eat, and then we all go out. Normally we go out with the younger kids and the older kids will go too. We hit a few houses and then we come back and then the little kids start eating their candy, the adults start eating food and hanging out, and the older kids go back out for the real trick-or-treating. And that's how we've been doing it.
yeah,
And then at the end of the night, we all contribute candy to like our pot here that we're giving out in the neighborhood. But whatever is left
yeah.
at the end of the night, all the kids at our
Free for
party
all.
trick or treat for that. No, it's not free for all. Like we split it up. Like come to the door where you're trick or treating at our
Oh,
house and you take the rest of it.
nice. I
It's
like
been
it.
fun. We did. So this year, obviously, I'm Deadpool, Anthony's Wolverine. the new
Nice.
Wolverine, and then we're doing kind of superhero things, and Haley's doing her cosplay, but we're not doing like a whole
Nice.
party theme. That's just what my family's doing. Do you remember what I've done previous years though?
Oh yeah, you guys have done Minions.
Yes, that was
That
so
was
fun. It was so
that
funny
was really
too.
fun.
I think the
How many did you have?
how many minions? I don't remember exactly how much, but we actually had way
Several.
more when we did the Where's Waldo.
That's right.
That was so
That's
funny.
awesome.
It was so fun. Where's Waldo? There's Waldo. It was the There's Waldo
There.
party.
There's Waldo Party. I like that a lot.
Yes.
I need to do that here.
Yeah. All right.
I
So,
think my family would love
uh,
that.
I wanted to wear this the whole time, but this is entirely
Uh-huh.
too hot. And I was gonna come in here and say, sorry, I was late. I was doing my makeup because I thought it'd be funny. But in all reality, I'm not wearing makeup, but I'm also sweating my non-existent balls off. Oh, oh my God. So it's time. I was literally like a few minutes ago, I was like, I gotta take this off. But I was like, I don't want to interrupt her. So I'm like heavy breathing. Yeah. Like, oh God. Eh. Anyways,
Well, I love it.
this is still a good look, right? And whoever comments, put the mask back on. That's fine. That's just on a different channel, okay? Like I don't care if you don't like my face. Whatever.
I love your face.
You know, I love your face. All right, anyway.
And that right there is a good look. It looks like you got a little blonde ponytail. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I do have a
what you
little blonde
do?
ponytail. I have a
Yeah,
big blonde ponytail, actually.
that's right. Right.
Yeah, we're kind
Well,
of twins, Em.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Only
I mailed you my
yours
hair.
is like better than the wig for Elsie's.
Depends on the day. Depends on the day.
But it's a good
But
day. It's a good day.
for spooky season, we're supposed to get a few stories together, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And as I was reading Reddit, most of
Uh-huh.
the spooky stuff comes from women who were or little kids who almost got kidnapped or like taken. And I'm like, oh, this is getting depressing. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is not
uh, this is not spooky. It's just hard to walk around at night, man. Like,
yeah.
uh,
It's just the reality that is there for us to face. So it is good to be aware
right?
of it, just not
It
let it
is.
control you. Just be as
Don't
smart
leave
as
your
you
kids alone, guys.
can, you know.
Yeah,
Teach your
yeah.
kids to be smart and stay in groups and stuff like that, you know. So
Have
that's
you
not bad.
have you seen the video of the little girl that her dad's trying to teach her like not to go with strangers? And
Okay.
he's like, well, what would you do if someone came to you and said, "Would you want to come to my car and see my puppy?" And she's like, I would say yes. He's like, no, no, no. She's like, yeah. He's like, no. She's like, mm. Then she like starts speaking French and she's like, we? Like, no.
That's so
Like,
cute.
yeah.
Send me that if you
So
find
yeah,
it. That's so
okay,
cute.
I will. We can add that there. But yes, teach your kids to say no to strangers and to basically when you feel creeped out, trust it.
Trust your gut. Yeah,
And
don't worry about
the
offending people so much. Like you don't have to actively be
yeah,
like, you're bad, but you can change your course and just be safe in what you're doing. Yeah.
yeah.
I need to teach Elena some stranger danger. She just
She
really
doesn't have it
loves
at all, huh?
attention from anybody. Like she's like, I don't know. It's so cute and I love it, but I'm also like, girl, it's like the type where it's like I just got to keep you safe until you're 18. I just got to get you to adulthood. Like don't.
Right?
She
Well,
scares me a
and
little
if
bit.
you could teach her to like follow her gut, she could also be like a massive powerhouse and like, I'm not going with you. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She has no problem speaking up for herself if she doesn't want to go. She just wants to go everywhere and do everything. Like she's just ready for it. I mean,
yeah.
it is getting to the point where now when I'm like, okay, pick that up and take it to the kitchen, she's just like, I'm too tired. I couldn't. You know, I'm just like, dude, no,
We're
you're being
not playing this
lazy.
game.
I'm not your maid.
Yep.
You
Yep.
ask me, there's a chance I'll do it, but no.
Yeah. Yep.
And she
I
does
think
it, but I'm like, she's at that age. She's
they
5,
all have to
so.
test that fence.
Oh yeah, I mean she's gonna be
See.
testing it for the next 10 years, I think, because like
Yep.
it's not like they just start cleaning up after themselves right off the bat. But they
You
figure it
figure
out.
out that way, let me know. But do you
Yeah.
guys, okay, we have a couple of creepy stories together. Like
Oh my God, yeah.
just little, I mean, a lot of little ones.
Hmm.
I
I have
remember,
like almost like creepy, not creepy. You know what I mean? Like that was creepy. It
uh-huh.
wasn't creepy because like I was safe, but
Yeah. Like the time you woke up after being home alone and the
Well,
whatever,
somebody
what's
had
it called?
broke
Shower
our.
curtain was folded.
Oh yeah, that's a good Halloween story. Once upon
Yeah.
a time. Just kidding. So this one it was not Halloween, but it was spooky. It was when I think my mom and dad were in Florida for my grandma's funeral or something like that. And I was the
Mhm.
oldest one home, and Sarah and Laura were there, so we decided to sleep in the front room because we just, I don't know, our babies and didn't want to be home alone. So we thought, let's sleep together out here, even though we slept together in a room, but whatever. So we slept in the
The
front
room
room.
matters. The room matters.
Yeah. Um, but we slept through the night just fine and all was well. But then the next day, there were just little things like our shower curtain had been taken off and folded up like neatly. And apparently, like other people had some things happen and it was just people like seeing what they could get away with. They didn't have intent to harm, but they were just
Thank
checking. So
heavens.
it made me feel uncomfortable thinking about like I feel like they looked at me and I wouldn't even know if they had touched me. Like and that made me
Right?
yeah,
It's
very
eerie. Or how long did they
uncomfortable.
stand there staring at you? Or like,
Yeah. Or did
ugh,
they not realize we were in the front room and just because they assumed everybody was in the bedrooms and they
or
never did
gone.
see us. I don't freaking know. But
Mhm.
still.
Yeah. Well, the
That was
creepiest thing,
you. Creepy.
I was just trying to let you or make you let me in. No, the creepiest one that I ever experienced and that like stays with me was I was like 13 or 14 years old
Mhm,
and my parents would go on date nights on Friday and I'd kind of be there to babysit. Sometimes my brothers would be there too.
mhm.
And they'd be out till like 1 in the morning. And so this time I had a friend babysitting with me and she was going to stay the night. And at like 11 o'clock at night, her dad called and said, "Hey, I'm just going to pick you up."
Yeah.
Uh, he he would. He'd just change his mind sometimes.
Oh, okay.
So so she leaves. I put the kids to bed. It's just me. I'm going to bed in my own room and I'm sitting there. I was probably writing in my journal and reading my scriptures like I did every night.
Yeah, yeah.
And I look up and my friend is back in my room. Only she's made of this like blue TV snow. Do you know what I mean? It was
I
really weird.
remember
It
you
was,
telling this. Yeah.
yeah. And she started at one end of my room and she was just kind of dragging her fingers across my like posters on my walls and stuff like that and just looking at stuff. And I wasn't really scared or anything, but I was weirded out. I was like, what the heck is going on? And then finally I like sit up and I look at her and I said, "Hey," like out loud. And like the sound of my voice kind of freaked me out a little bit. She said, "Hey." And she turns and looks at me and smiles and then disappears through my wall. And I was like, what the frick just happened? And I was like totally weirded out. No idea what just happened, but it was her. It was my room and it was weird. And so in my little 13 or 14-year-old brain, I'm like, she's dead. She died. Like that
Like
was
on the
her
way
saying
home,
goodbye or something,
she died and she came
right?
and
She got in
talked
a
to
car
me.
wreck and died. And I was like panicked all night. And I called her the next day. She's like, "No, I'm good." Like, no worries. Like, well, then I don't know what that was. The only thing I can think is if I had like sleep paralysis or something, or like was
Mm, yeah,
almost
and you're
asleep and was just kind of like hallucinating a little bit,
a little bit, yeah.
but it's never
But
happened
still,
again. So
yeah, yeah. It is creepy though.
that's
No matter
vivid
what it
enough to
is.
freak me the heck out.
Because like I remember because I had like epilepsy for a time when I was younger, like
Hmm.
sometimes I it would feel like I would not be able to wake myself up, but I was aware. Like I couldn't open my eyes, but I was aware.
Hmm.
And I would be trying so hard to open my eyes. And like maybe in those moments, I was in that kind of a state where I was only like my body was, I don't know, it's just in some sort of in between state, but I think it's a sleep paralysis type thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's real. And it is terrifying.
it is terrifying. I remember when I was a kid and I'd have those like, I know I'm dreaming and try to wake myself up. If
Mhm,
I would try to like pry my eyes open, I would get this like buzzing sound in my ears and it would be so loud. Like, I
mhm.
don't know why.
Yeah,
Sleep
we
is
were
weird.
like
Sleep is
crossing into
weird.
other dimensions and trying to come back.
Something, pull it back. I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know, but but I know
Um,
what I saw.
so I never used to like creepy, scary things. So most of
Mhm.
my Halloweens didn't involve a lot of that. Like I didn't watch a lot of scary movies. Like
Me
I'm
neither.
down for it now, but I didn't do that. But Halloween was more, like it was more toilet papering houses, you know what I mean? Kind of it like we
I
weren't
played
doing
spin the
real.
bottle once on Halloween.
Oh, I know. I've done that.
I
Been
know,
there.
center.
Yeah.
I was such a nerd.
We all were,
Still am.
right?
Still am.
And
Yeah,
there's
so
nothing
most
wrong with that.
and most of my stories aren't on Halloween. They're just kind of creepy little
Yeah.
dillies. Yeah.
Well, I have one story that I came across that I was like, ooh, I'm going to share that with Emily. At
Okay.
first,
Do it.
because of the way it was presented on TikTok, at first I was like, 'cause she didn't allude to it not being true at all. So I was like, this is true. Like, this is a
Yeah.
true story. But as I tried to look it up, like, I was like, okay, I'm not finding. I did find other. The main person in this is a pastor, and like I did find other pastors with similar, not with
Stories.
stories, yeah. Um, but either way, so I cannot say the validity of this story, but it's definitely a creepy story. So it would make a scary movie. And so the story goes. So there's this couple who they're influencers and they're pretty popular. And there's apparently a scandal about it was called the Trinity marriage scandal or something. Like that was what they called themselves. Maybe it was a YouTube channel or something. But they were just like a really cute couple and they were really good together. Like they were super Christian and conservative, but they weren't like doing any of the negative things that like kind of push people away, like the guy being able to control the woman or things like that. Like it was
Yeah.
just really like it seemed like a really good um relationship, and like they opened their life to the public. So like they were always doing cute little renos and stuff like that. And you know,
Yeah.
later on in, they've been doing this for a while and they've been together for a while and they decide we kind of both need our own spaces in this house, so let's do a reno video. And they do a room for her, and it's like a just a cute little nook thing where it's all and then there's going to be a man cave in the basement, but they don't really focus too much on that because they've agreed that
Mhm.
they're going to like kind of keep their separate spaces. Like we're together all the time. We work together, but like it'll be good to have these places. So, like that's yours. Like if we have an argument or something, like go to our spaces, but neither of us goes to the other person's space. Like you let them come to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that
Yeah.
way it keeps you're never going to your space. And then they followed that and this went on and it was fine or whatever. And it kind of works to just have these spaces and stuff like that. So down the road, they were like their YouTube channel, they are like Christian. He's a pastor and she works, like they work together in their community. They help a lot. They do food drives. Like they're just really like pillars of the community type thing. And
Yeah.
one day she's coming home from getting groceries. She comes in through the garage and she's got her arms full of groceries. And as she comes in the door, there's like a half naked woman who looks like she's been beaten up, who lunges at her with a knife and misses.
Oh
And they
gosh.
are gun carrying, people. She has her thing, and that's fine because she's being lunged at. And she grabbed her gun and she just shot, and she ended up shooting the lady in her house. And she freaked out and she called her
Oh
husband and was
gosh.
just like, "Oh my gosh, I just got attacked," and like all this stuff. And he comes home and he's just like, "Oh my gosh," like, and she's like, "We have to go to the cops." And he's like, "Hold on, don't like, let's think about this because we don't want you to go to jail. You just shot somebody. Let's think about this." You know what I mean? Like he's trying to protect her. He's like, go take a shower. I'm gonna start taking care of this. Like, don't worry about it. Like so she's kind of in shock, doesn't even know what's happening. And like a day or two later, she sees on like a Facebook marketplace or one of those things, somebody's looking for their sister. She's a known druggie. Like she stays at certain like trap houses and stuff, but like they take care of her.
Yeah.
They know she has a problem and like everybody's kind of looking out for her in her community, even though she's at like a much lower community. But her brother and her had like this deal that she would like every couple days she would reach out so that he could just know she was safe, and she was good about it. She always like, so they talked a lot. He knew what was going on. So after she had been gone for like a week, he was like, or I don't know how long it was. He got
Something's
to a
up.
point where
Yeah.
he was like, something's wrong. I'm not getting hold of my sister. If anybody sees her, please let me know. And she saw it was this lady who was in her house. So she's like, okay, so she was like some drug addict in my house. By the way, so she, the guilt of the fact that she did that and knew that they hadn't like gone to the cops yet. She called the cops and they came to her house. And because she's a pillar of the community, like they were hearing her story and they were like, okay, it does sound like, like you. that sounds like self-defense. Like it was kind of like we get you freaked
Yeah,
out and stuff like that. But then her husband came home and was, of course, being like just
sketchy.
sketchy and stuff like that. And, as they do need to, search the house and stuff like that, just kind of figure things in. His man cave was never a man cave. It had been soundproofed and it was just a bed with straps. And she probably hadn't been the first one, is how the story went. And it said that he was being
Really?
that, but because he was caught, he was being charged. The thing is, like I said, I heard this on TikTok and I was like, that is really fucking scary. But it's also scary because like really like the people who are going to church a lot of times do end up being really vulnerable because a lot of times they have needs that the church really fulfills and they're just easy to manipulate. And I'm just like, it sounds, a little too real. So that's a real
Tracks.
scary thing. Anyways, that was my story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or the
Yeah,
story
that
I
would
heard or
be
found.
terrifying. And actually, my neighbors had something kind of similar
Okay.
where like not that similar, but
I was
just
like,
out in the
okay.
country. No, out in the country, there had been a girl that showed up on their doorstep like in the middle of the night. She was naked and bleeding, and I don't remember many of the details, but somebody had driven her out into the middle of nowhere and beaten her up and left her for dead. And she had crawled her way like a couple of miles, I don't know, a
Yeah,
long, long way. And anyway, showed up on their doorstep and they got her help. But how
that had to
freaking
be,
freaky.
yeah, very terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying. Hmm.
Mm.
Um, yeah, my creepy stories are like all
Oh, what?
not
They're
they're
not.
just small. They're
Okay,
just
that's
small.
okay. Tell them to me.
But
I'll
but
come
the ones
listen.
that I like the best are the ones that are like told to me by people around me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like when you're
Real
sitting around the
stories,
dinner
maybe.
table and
Like
it's
they got
like,
creeped
oh,
out.
hmm.
Okay.
So like my little brother, when he was early 20s, he was in New Hampshire, right?
Okay.
And he was on a mission. And so it was just him and a companion that he, didn't really know, had just met. And that's how they do it on missions. They take two strangers and they put them together and they're like, you're best friends now and you can't leave each other's side.
Yeah.
So they got home one night and for some reason the stereo that they had, like they're not allowed to listen to any music except for like church music. So they only used it for CDs. And it was late at night and all of a sudden it just kicked on and it was some broadcast that was saying like, uh, fuck you, I know where you live, I'm gonna come get you, you're gonna fucking die, and just like all sorts of stuff. And they couldn't get it to stop. And so they like switched it over from the radio, and it kept going. And like, what is this? And so they had to unplug it from the wall and like hide it for it to stop. And so he just, I don't know, freaked out. He said it did it twice while they were on their mission. Same kind
So
of thing, same
somebody
kind of
was able to
broadcast.
hack it who wanted to scare them because they didn't
I
like electricity,
guess.
I guess.
And it worked. They were pretty
Yeah.
freaked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Where
um,
was he again?
New Hampshire.
Really? So they were just
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting.
Weird.
Weird and
But it,
unusual.
it did freak him out. Yep.
All right.
Um,
What else we got?
okay. And when I was a little kid, I would, we went from living in this really small house where we were all crammed together to like this big house where we all had our own rooms. And sometimes I didn't like sleeping in my own room. So I'd like truck it downstairs to my brother's room and he had a couch in there and I just go sleep on his couch. And in the middle of the night, everybody was asleep. And I heard the brother that was in the next bedroom scratching on the wall. He was like, scratch, 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 scratch. I'm like, dude, knock it off. I'm not in the mood. Like, I don't want to be scared. Just let me sleep.
Yeah.
And then he waited a second and he'd scratch again. I'm like, knock it off. It's not funny, right? Went on for like 5 minutes and then I'm like, fine. I like march over to his room like I'm real pissed off and he's dead asleep. Like dead asleep. Not pretend, can't pretend that good, right? And I'm like, what? I have no idea what's going on, but I know I heard scratching. And then so I stayed awake most of the night, then fell asleep. And when I woke up the next morning, there was a little mouse hole in my wall. And I'm like, oh, haha, it was a mouse.
It's funny how your mind makes sense of things though, and then
Right?
yeah.
Like, of course it's my brother.
Uh-huh.
Why would he not be doing that? Do
Oh,
do you want a couple more little ones?
yeah, I do. I want
Okay.
this to not be so tight on my noggin. But I think it's this I think it's the wig that's so tight.
Yeah.
Eh.
So do you have to wear a wig underneath it that comes through?
Well, I had to because it didn't have that. It didn't come with the ponytail part.
Ah,
I'm like,
nice.
let the wig go up and let this come down. I don't know. I don't know.
Perfect. I like it.
Whatever.
I
That
like it
hurts
a lot.
less, so that's better.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, okay. My parents told a story when I was a little kid, and I think I asked them about it not too long ago, and they don't even remember, but I did because I was a little kid and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Um, we came upstairs like one Saturday morning or something, and my parents are like, okay, did one of you guys bang on our door last night? And we're just like, no, it wasn't us. And
Yeah.
they said they were both lying in bed, and all of a sudden they just started hearing banging on their bedroom door. They said it sounded like somebody was like throwing a ball against it. You know what I mean? Bam, bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam. And they're like, what the heck? Jump out of bed, run to the door. It stops before they get there. They come out, nobody's there. They go downstairs, they check on all of us. We're all asleep, and we were really little kids then. So it's like little kids are
The
not good
chances you
fakers.
can really
You
get
can
there
tell.
and fake it that
Yeah,
good.
and fake
Yeah.
it. We weren't there. But they went back upstairs and there was a basketball sitting right next to their bedroom door. Like, huh, weird. So that's all. Never figured out what it was, but
Maybe it was that same person who broke into my house to unfold to take down the,
the shower
like we
curtain.
had a serial housebreaker in Payson, but they didn't want to hurt anything. They just wanted to see what they could get away with.
Well, my sister-in-law, um, they had somebody in their neighborhood that got caught breaking into people's houses, just
Hmm.
not taking anything, just sorry, trying to get this thing to go right.
Okay.
Um, he wouldn't take anything, he would just break into houses just to see if he could. And when he got caught, he gave a list of all the houses he had broken into, and hers was on the list, and they had no idea. Like, oh, well, cool, I
Yeah, it's like
guess.
it's good that
Like,
you're not taking anything. Maybe we could use this skill. You should go work at like breaking into like safes or something. Like there's some way you could use this to your advantage.
right, go be a ninja.
Yes, exactly.
Sneaky.
That's where I was going to.
All right, do something. Use it. Use your talents for something other than breaking into people's houses and creeping them out.
Yes,
'Cause,
yes.
that's a little freaky.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't like being scared.
I don't like being scared either. And sometimes I have another sister-in-law who said she swears when she was a little kid,
Hmm.
she and her friend and her brother and his friend were sleeping on the trampoline in the backyard, and they lived in kind of like near the mountains. And they woke up in the middle of the night because they could hear like heavy panting. Anyway, and they had heard that there had been a mountain lion run like walking through the neighborhoods. And so they all just hid in their sleeping bags and tried to stay super quiet. And it just stayed under the trampoline for a while. And she, anyway, she said they waited for a while and then they heard it move to the neighbor's house and it started fighting with the neighbor's dog. And you could hear it like yowling and
Yeah, yeah.
like
That was
it was
probably
not
pretty
a dog.
scary.
It was,
Being like, oh my God,
yeah.
please
And
don't come
then,
get me. Don't do it.
right. And then
Yeah.
when they ran in the house and told their parents didn't believe them. So, you never know.
Yeah, yeah.
She's like, it was a mountain lion. It was totally a mountain lion. It was definitely a
Definitely,
mountain lion.
maybe, probably, there's a chance it's a mountain lion.
The most scared I have ever been sleeping outside on the trampoline with friends was when the night I watched Jurassic Park. I was in the fifth grade
Okay.
and I knew there were dinosaurs and they were gonna come get me. Like they were out there. It was happening. I was
And you
terrified.
were their target.
I was. Nobody else. It was me.
Oh.
I barely escaped that one with my life.
Yeah. I've had so many like instances where like I don't know, where it seems like if I were gonna see something like that, like supernatural, like I would have. You know what I mean? I've been alone in
Hmm.
scary situations. I've been in so many different like I even so like for the job I have right now, when I did my training, I did it in a different office. And because they want you to be getting your computer training done where they're not trying to get you to see patients and stuff so you can really just get
Yeah.
everything done. So I was in this office for 3 weeks and I knew nothing about this office. This is just where I was doing my training. I'm there. It was great. It was fine. I leave. A little bit after that, I start hearing everybody talking about this office that it used to be a morgue and how creepy it is and how like things are always happening and there's always people have stories and I'm like, hold on, was it this one? And they're like, yes. And I was like, I mean, I guess it's haunted if your brain's haunted, but if you're not like
If you're not looking for it, it's
if
not
that's
there.
not even on your radar because you don't even believe in that, like, literally, I mean, if I hear a pop or something, I'm never thinking it's anything other than something in the wall or, you know what I mean? Like, my
Yeah,
mind makes sense of it so fast that, like,
it's the
it never
heater.
goes
It's
to
the
ghost. So I'm like, I may have heard something, but I never heard a ghost. That's for sure. I don't know.
Oh man, I thought I had.
Yeah.
So,
But you saw a
um,
blue, like, TV thing. Who knows?
yeah, I did.
Yeah.
So, like a year ago, I was teaching. I just taught preschool to my little niece just for fun.
Okay.
So she'd come over once a week and we'd do a little preschool together.
That's cute.
And then afterwards, her mom came over and we were just visiting for a little bit. And it's just me, her, and her daughter.
Uh-huh.
And then from the back of the house, I heard a door shut. And she looks at me and we're like, who was that? Like nobody else is here.
Yeah.
What the heck? And so we're a little bit freaked out. And I'm like, I mean, I guess I gotta go see what it is,
Mhm.
freaking out. There's no like outside doors over there. Nobody could have come in. Nobody. I'm all freaked out. And I walk in there and it's my teenage daughter that I forgot was homesick. She had just been sleeping the whole morning, so I just kind of forgot she was there. I'm like, oh yeah, no,
It was
it was
almost
her.
a
It
ghost or a robber,
was
but
almost a
it was
ghost,
just my daughter.
right? But it was my daughter because I'm
But
a
in
good
that
mom and
moment,
forgot she
before
was
you
there.
knew,
I was just the panic sets in so fast. I think that's the big problem is like you think the worst right off. Or not everybody, but sometimes I
but
think
but
the worst
when
right off the bat. Like
yeah,
it is not a logical explanation. It is
yeah,
supernatural or
yeah,
terrifying.
I'm always so based kind of in reality, I guess, that like my brain just doesn't go there first because I'm like I've been in so many places and situations and old homes. I literally, one of our old homes is now used as a haunted house, but I've never seen anything. And I've never, yeah, so I'm like, I don't
They
know.
were scared of you guys. The ghosts are like, nah, I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah, the ghosts are more like, okay, don't like the Rosiers are the real scary thing. Just kidding.
Okay, so in my old house, it was built in like 1908 or something like that, really
Uh-huh.
close. Um, my little son would sleep in our bedroom. You saying hi?
Yeah, she's telling me my time. I got like
Oh,
5 minutes, okay? No, it's okay. It's just
okay.
she has a
We
doctor's
can
appointment, so.
we can end with this one.
No, no, no. Yeah, tell this story though.
But okay. So yeah, our old house. We're sleeping in our old house. We got our little, probably 3-year-old son in between me and Cody going to sleep.
Mhm.
And he started getting scared of our closet. Our closet couldn't close because our room was so small that like
Oh,
our bed had to be up against the door and it was always open. So he's like, I'm scared of the closet. There's a monster in the closet. And I didn't know what to say. So I'm like, oh, I want to go to bed. So I'm like, that's just Dave. And so every night before bed, he'd be like, I'm scared of the closet. Well, I'd just be like, it's just Dave. And so he'd be like, good night, Dave. And then we'd go
yeah.
to sleep.
That
My
works.
closet, Dave.
Yeah, yeah. You used to kind of with like Elena even still, like when she's like, I'm afraid of a monster or something. And I'm just like, well, we only have nice monsters here, so you don't have to worry about that. Like I'm just always like, that's cool, that's fine. Like, I don't know.
Yep.
I
As
don't
long
really.
as you, the parent, know that everything's okay and they're like, oh yeah, we
And
know
you
how to
can
deal with them.
reassure
Like,
them.
mhm.
When I was younger though, I was afraid of closets. But I'll tell you, even then, I never thought it was a ghost. I always thought it was someone coming to get me. It was a human. It was a person. They saw me.
Me
They
too.
like they picked me. I was the one. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
somehow, because you're the center of the universe at that point in your life, anyways, because that's all you're
Yep.
seeing. But even then, it's a little weird. Even when I was hyper religious, I still never pictured anything supernatural in my
Hmm.
closets. I still always saw basically mankind as the danger to me.
Yep. But if you close your eyes, they don't hurt you. So,
Yeah, see, that's why it didn't
like,
work
did you?
because for me, even if I closed my eyes, I just had to use my brain to say, okay, like number one, I would check the closet. I would always go and do it so that I could like just tell my mind it's really not there. And then I'd just sit there and talk myself through like pretty much you're not that important. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Like somebody caught just you and they came in and they've been waiting for how long would they have to be waiting to be in that closet? And I basically have to like talk myself tell until I realize how dumb it is. And by that point in time, I think I've got myself tired enough to fall asleep. So I think that's how it used to work for me.
Well, you're very pragmatic because
But when
I
I
just work
couldn't do
myself
that, I
up
would just
more.
crawl into my mom's bed. And this even goes up for up to high school. If I had a night where I was just anxious about stuff and I couldn't tell myself it's okay, even though I knew it was okay, I would just go lay
Hmm.
right next to my mom on the foot of the bed or whatever. And as long as I was with somebody, like I'm kind of like a pack animal. If I'm sleeping with someone, I sleep great. If I'm sleeping
Yep.
alone,
Not happening.
everything needs to be perceived by me. I need to be aware of all dangers. Like I'm a pack sleeper.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Yeah, me too.
anyways.
Me too. I have never liked sleeping alone. So
All right.
I love it. I wish I was there to go Halloween party with you,
Yes, yes. I'll send pictures of you here. I'll give you the full because it's still pretty cool even. I like
even
the
all zipped up.
like this is just Spirit Halloween and
Right?
I'm like kind of impressed with it. I'm
Heck
like
yeah.
cute. It came with
I
this
like it
little
a lot.
like oh wait, where is it? Utility belt thing.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's
dude,
cute.
I like it a lot.
Yes. So happy Halloween.
Well done. Happy Halloween. Don't don't get too spooky out there.
There we go. I can see. All
Have
right.
fun, dress up, eat candy, all
Always.
the good things.
Yes. Okay. But I love you.
Right.
I'll talk to you
Love you
later.
too.
Bye.
Lilas. Bye.
Lilas.
Subscribe up there.
Subscribe.
There's a subscribe up there.
Okay.
Like the button.
Okay.